Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to OPSEC, and in today's video we are going to cover an amazing topic for those who are interested in OPSEC and anonymity. So the video itself is the ultimate guide for being anonymized while hacking. So for those who are new to the channel, kindly like this video, share, subscribe, comment. It actually helps the algorithm to boost my videos to more viewers. So what we are going to talk about in this video is how to ensure that while you are hacking, you remain as anonymous as possible, because we have listened or we have had stories where a hacker had successfully hacked into a system and later was caught. And most of them, if you actually look into those cases, you find that it was bad OPSEC, or they did one mistake that actually connected back to them. So I hope that you enjoy this video. I hope that you learn something, and with that we can continue with the video. So as we continue, I want us to start with a small or important disclaimer that this video presents fictional open source hacking tools and techniques, and these techniques are used by both pen testers and attackers. So you should be careful, and misuse of this video's information can lead to criminal charges. These videos does not promote hacking, software cracking, or piracy. The information in this video is strictly, and I repeat again, strictly for educational purposes only. Remember, hacking attempts without written permission is illegal. So we are actually doing this video to educate ourselves, not to attack systems that we do not have permission for. So I like to start this video with something that I call the blank slate principle. So what is the blank slate principle in terms of hacking anonymous? Because we are targeting a system and we want to hack it, but at the end of the day we do not want to get caught. So I had something called the blank slate principle, which means that when you are hacking into a new system, you have to start from scratch each and every time. Let me give you an example. Let's say you've hacked into the database of a company A, and you've successfully infiltrated and maybe took some data, which you should not do. It's illegal without written permission, of course. And once you're done with that target, when you're going to hack another target or a target B, ensure that you start from scratch. This is what the blank slate principle means in terms of hacking anonymous. So what does this mean? It means that each and every time you have to use a new computer, a new hotspot, a new IP address, and servers. And in terms of computer, some might ask, okay, should I go with a computer with high spec? No, you should go with a computer that can actually, what I call a disposable computer, a computer that once you think that you are going to be caught or something like that, then you can easily throw it away without you feeling the pain of the cost. So the blank slate principle aims at that investigator aim to identify common patterns between attacks and gather small evidence to gain a clear picture. So if you hacked company A and you used the same IP, the same computer, they will try and pinpoint and say that this guy used the same IP address and he used the same IP address on different attacks, so they can actually say that this attack is common and they can associate that attack to you. So the other thing is that never use your home, work, or university IP address, even with anonymity layers. When we will talk about these layers in a few minutes. So never use this is like a disclaimer. The blank slate principle is actually like a disclaimer to the things that you should be doing. Never use your home or work or university IP address, even with the anonymity layers, as I said. Assume potential system glitch could leak real IP to investigators. So what we are trying to do here is that hacking is a game of cat and mouse. So there is the investigators who are coming for you, and you as a hacker, you actually maintain that anonymity. So what we are trying to do in this video is to actually is for me to teach you or show you the process that you can actually take in helping yourself, so that these investigators might find it difficult to catch you. And then we have the multi-layered approach. So we talked about the layers. Now we have something called the multi-layered approach. And this multi-layered approach consists of different layers for you to actually protect yourself. And what I define the multi-layered approach in anonymity refers to using multiple methods and strategies to protect one's identities and activities online. This approach ensures that if one layer is compromised, others remain intact, providing robust protection. So what we aim here is to make it difficult for the investigators to actually find us. So we make ourselves anonymous while we are conducting our hacking activities. So the first layer is actually the physical layer. And the physical layer includes this physical safety, what I call hiding in plain sight. So what does the physical layer safety means? It means that in the physical safety, you need to choose, we say never use your home, work, or university IP. So what do? You choose public Wi-Fi hotspots. So use Wi-Fi's at location like fast food places, Starbucks, McDonald's, malls, train station, or other large public gathering, and ensure that those places also do not have CCTV cameras. Ensure that they do not check and find like, oh, this person sat on this place for a long time and he fired up Kali. No, you must be careful. So you need to check your surrounding. You need to be paranoid every time you hack. You just imagine that these guys are onto you. So that's how you make yourself you bring that anonymity inside it. So provide false personal information. So when asked for personal details, provide false information. There are some Wi-Fi hotspot, they will ask for your email address. Provide fake email address. You can use services like a temp mail, Yelp mail. We will see that in a few. So avoid mobile verification. Do not do that. So this is the physical safety part of things. It's you, and you're taking the precaution that you should go to a secure location, use public hotspot, do not provide your personal information. Do not use mobile verification. If mobile verification is required, use a prepaid SIM card for in cash or find another Wi-Fi hotspot. So there's what we call prepaid SIM cards, which you pay for the services, and make sure when you pay, you use cash or maybe crypto. What we're trying to avoid is anything that can come back to you. Maybe you use your debit card that can be associated to you. So use payment methods that are really difficult to trace, or find another Wi-Fi spot. Use disposable email address if they ask for email verification. So you can create a disposable email account using services like Yelp Mail, Gorilla Mail, Mailneta, or mytemp.mail. So this is an example of Yelp Mail. So Yelp Mail is disposable, and you can just create the Yelp Mail email and use it to verify different things, including maybe if the hotspots requires verification. So this is how the interface of the Yelp Mail looks like. And then let's look at some of the public hotspot security. So these public hotspots are not always secured. In fact, some are very, very insecure that people even usually conduct man-in-the-middle attacks. So ensure that there is SSL or the secure socket layer encryption is used to protect web traffic. Some hotspots might replace legitimate websites, a certificate with their own to intercept and access data. This is what man-in-the-middle attack is. To verify, visit any HTTP website and check its certificate properties in Firefox. Use the View Certificate button. Ensure the common name or the canonical name or object field matches the website's DNS name. So what does this mean? Let me show you in a few. Escape and let me fire up my browser, my Brave browser, one of the best browser that I love. So let's say we are looking at Amazon. I had it here. So, and we've connected to the public hotspot. Okay, it's connecting. So we've connected. We can come and check the certificate for legitimacy and ensure that it's not been compromised by man-in-the-middle attack. We will come to the connection is secure and certificate valid. What we want to look is the common name of the canonical name, the CN. Does it match the domain name? So it actually matches the domain name. So we have www.amazon.com. So that is what I mean by saying that you need to check the certificate to ensure that whatever you're looking for has not been intercepted by a man-in-the-middle attack. So we have that over here, and that's what I meant by looking for the C name or the canonical name or the common name. If there is a wildcard or unexpected name in that certificate, the hotspot is likely intercepting SSL traffic, and you should find another connection. So these are things that you should look. So we've find our physical hotspot. Let's say we've gone to Starbucks or we're in a mall. That's our place of action. So we go there, we fire up. We need to check that is the public hotspot really secured, or is there a man-in-the-middle attack? So the other thing is check for firewall rules. So ensure that the hotspot doesn't restrict necessary network traffic. Verify that you can send a request on ports other than 80 and 443 and the UDP, and that UDP and ICPM or the ping request are allowed. You can do this by using nmap and using some nmap command and visiting a website such as ftp.ubuntu.com to check for open ports. So in FTP, we'll be checking at the file transfer protocol, and if it's open, then you know that the firewall has no strict rules. And then we have another layer. So we are from the physical layer where we are ensuring that our physical identity is not associated with us. We've connected to a firewall in Starbucks. We've given out false information about our phone number, our email address. So we are detaching from the attack with us. Let's say I'm in New York City and I want to like try to infiltrate a company. What I do is that I'll go to a place that has public hotspot and I join there, ensure that there is no CCTV, ensuring that cameras are not looking into me. I should be normal, not kinky, wearing hoodie and all that stuff. No, just be normal, presentable. And that's how you ensure that you are trying to disassociate yourself from the hack as much as possible. So we have the network safety. And in the network safety, I will talk about the Tor network or the Onion router. So the Tor network, the Onion router, is a free open source network that encrypts and routes data through multiple servers worldwide. It was first introduced by the US Navy and it has a lot of history. It was used for counterintelligence, passing sensitive documents, and etc. And so what the Tor works, it works this way. We have you, and then you connect from you to your ICP, and then we have an entry node, and then it's circulated to other nodes, and then we have an exit node, and then you access what you need. I will show you in a minute. So we have a request leaves your computer, enters the Tor network, gets encrypted several times, and exits from a different server before reaching its destination. So the Tor Network Basic, I really had a very, very wonderful series on the dark web and the dark web, where I talked about Tor in detail and I talked about details and accessing the dark web and doing this, the do's and don't of the dark web. So I will leave a link on the description of this video. You can go ahead and check that playlist if you want to learn more about Tor and the dark web. So the destination destination server only sees the IP address of the Tor exit node, not the user's original IP address. So multiple users share the same exit node, complicating investigation. So an example is that I will fire up my computer, my my internet service provider will connect me to the entry node. Once I enter the entry node, my ISP doesn't know where my exit node is going to be, and the exit node has thousands of people exiting from that node to access a particular website. So it makes it difficult for investigators to actually know or find who was in the exit node. The exit node receives connection only from other Tor nodes, masking the user's real location and identity. So this is an example. So this is my computer, and I enter to the entry node. And then after entering through the entry node, my communication is encrypted, and then this is the exit node, and I can maybe now access Google, X, or former Twitter, Facebook, and so much and so forth. So what my ISP knows is my entry node. What they don't know is my exit node, and the exit node doesn't know which one is the entry node. So it makes the thing more and more complicated. So this is for your network. We are from the physical layer, the network layer, and now we are checking how to use the network layer to make ourselves anonymous. So installing Tor is fairly easy. For those who have Windows, you can just go to Tor and download it directly. And I think they have a portable. They don't have an they don't have an executable or exe file. It's a portable file for the Windows. And the Linux, you can go by downloading the bundle. So it's very easy. The Tor browser is a hardened version of Firefox with enhanced privacy features and no script execution. So that is the Tor browser that you will use to now access information on the internet. So using Tor with other tools. So Tor can relay more than just web requests. It can encapsulate any type of traffic. To ensure all packets from tools like SQL Map go through Tor, use proxy chain. So proxy chain is a tool that you can use to actually go through the Tor network and maybe use a tool like SQL Map for SQL injection. And then you can configure the proxy chain by editing the etc proxy chain.config file you can use a editor like Nano or gedit to do this. So to edit the config file to route through traffic through SOX proxy. So this is a way to make it more and more secure. So this is an example of the proxy chain. So this is the proxy config file, and then you can configure here. So we can add a proxy over here, and then meanwhile, and then the default is set to automatically Tor. So we have the command proxy chain, SQL map, and then we SQL map the site that we want. So that is how we can use Tor with even other tools like proxy chain. So Tor is not a one-way hardened steel that cannot be break. There's potential vulnerabilities while you're using Tor, and you need to know them. So one of them is that HTTP request can expose users' information to the exit node. Remember, this is HTTP request. That is why I recommend you using HTTPS. So the first Tor node or the entry node knows the user's real IP address, but not the exit node. That's what I was saying. Your entry node is associated with your computer, so they will know the real IP address, but the exit node is encrypted and it has passed through multiple layers, and it's difficult to know the exit node. So the request content is encrypted, visible only to the exit node if not protected with the HTTPS. Breaking anonymity using Tor. So Tor, as I said, is not a full bulletproof. There's instances where people anonymity has been broken through Tor, and an example is an attacker must compromise both the entry and exit node to fully trace a user. And the common one is where a malicious website can inject code into the Tor browsers, potentially installing malware that bypasses Tor and exposes the user. So this is the most common one. And you can also make strictness while you're using the Tor browser. Ensure that JavaScript is not enabled. Ensure that you're using add-ons like there's a good add-on that I love that was actually dismantled by Chrome because it was good. It's called uBlock Origin. It's one of the most amazing anti-ad add-on that I've ever used. It was actually blocked by Chrome, but there's a light version that is still used in Chrome. So those are the things that can actually break Tor's anonymity. And then when you hear that Tor can be broken, what is the alternative? So we can also use before we go to what I could say, let's look at the limitation and risks. Some federal agencies are rumored, so these are the limitations and risk of using Tor. So we know, and it has been rumored for a while, that some federal agencies, especially the three-letter agencies, control many Tor nodes, allowing them to correlate information and identify users. While Tor provides some level of anonymity, it has limits and potential vulnerability, especially against sophisticated adversaries. So these are adversaries like high people looking for you, especially the three-letter agency, as I said. Or if you are being targeted by them, then there is high chances that if you're going to use Tor, they can hack and find who you are if you are really a high potential value on the top notch. So as I said, Tor is not bulletproof, but what we are trying to do here is to make the investigators work very, very difficult. That's why we have all these layers that I'm talking about. Then we have alternatives, which we have VPNs, the virtual private networks. So VPNs providers create encrypted tunnels between the user's workstation and their servers. They change the IP, they mask you, offering an alternative method for maintaining privacy. But note, VPNs also have a lot of weakness. We've seen Fortinet VPN vulnerabilities all over, especially this year. So VPNs also depend on the providers, but I will talk about VPNs in a few. So the VPN is like, okay, this is my computer. I'm connected to a VPN server in, let's say, Nigeria, or let's say somewhere. Let's say I'm in Nigeria or I'm in UK, and then I'm connected in a VPN server in China. So my after connecting to China, then I connect to the real website that I want. So that's basically how a VPN works. It encrypts your communication between where you're from and actually mask your identity. And it's not a full-on guarantee that by doing that, you can actually not be traced back. We've had instances where VPNs have given information to the feds. Especially there is an incident where Pure VPN is a VPN service provider that actually gave information of a hacker that actually used their VPN to target infrastructure. So the authorities came and before the authorities came, Pure VPN said that they had no log policies. So you are giving your information to somebody who you do not know. That's the limitation with VPNs. I'm giving my information, I'm using servers with a company that I don't know what's their final intuition when the feds show up on their face. And we have also companies like service providers like Windscribe, who have actually stood on the ground and have refused to give the feds the information that they want. So it actually depends, and we can actually use a tool like privacytools.io to actually find some of the best VPN provider. I will share my best VPN provider in this video, and it's not a must you use, but I will give you the reason why I picked that as the best VPN. So VPN functionality: all outgoing traffics from your computer is encrypted, hiding the user's activities and the IP address they contact from their local ISP. Useful for evading censorship imposed by oppressive governments. Some VPN providers. So let's talk about VPN providers and payment. While I'm talking about this, my choice, I actually wrote a wonderful blog post about choosing the best VPNs. And on those choosing the best VPN, I look at three main qualities. The VPN must have a no-log policy, a strict no-log policy, not just a crafted one, a strict no-log policy. The VPN provider must accept cryptocurrency as my method of payment. I'm not going to pay with my credit card. I'm not going to pay with payment that will be traced back to me. And I'm also not going to use cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been found to be traceable. You can actually trace Bitcoin on the blockchain easily and find where this let's say the amount of money being transacted from this place to this place. It's been easy. It's Bitcoin. So I'll use very cryptocurrencies that are more privacy focused, like Monero. So those are that's the second. And the third thing that I look for VPN that is not in the Five Eye countries. And the Five Eye countries include the US, UK, Canada, New Zealand, and Australia. If a VPN is located in those places, I know the jurisdiction is much tighter than if they want the logs, they can actually do whatever it takes to get them. So there's some good VPN providers, especially VPN in countries with privacy laws, strong privacy laws, such as Switzerland, where Proton VPN comes from. So there's good VPN providers and there's bad VPN providers. So you have to look for those qualities. So some VPN providers accept cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin for anonymous payment. A list of such VPN providers can be found in We Use Bitcoin over here at bitcoinvps.com. So you can check We Use Bitcoin. So this is where you can find a list of VPNs that actually use they use cryptocurrency. You can buy with Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, other more privacy enhanced cryptocurrencies. So we have private internet access. Had my ass had some scandals. That's same as pure VPN, so I really don't trust it. And I actually told you, look for VPNs that are not in the Five Eye countries, because if there is a request by authority to come and grab those log, they will give them out. So I will try to avoid US, UK, and my best VPN server, the best VPN service that I ever love is AirVPN. Look at it, it's based outside the Five Eye, which is Italy, UK, Seychelles, Sweden, Denmark, Hong Kong, Malaysia. So look at VPNs that are actually established in places where privacy is really important. We have ExpressVPN, we have a lot of VPNs. So as I said, had my ass had a really big scandal. It gave out information together with pure VPN. So NordVPN, one of the best VPN also that I love. NordVPN is based in Panama. So there's a long list over here, and you can go and check it out and you can go and decide what is the best for you. But if you ask me, I will tell you what's the best VPN for me in the next slide. So my favorite VPN is Air VPN. And why did I choose Air VPN? It has a very good no log policy. It is based outside the Five Eye countries, and it also accepts cryptocurrencies such as enhanced privacy focused cryptocurrencies inclusive Monero or XMR. And they also have a GUI interface that you can use called EDI, and you can use to tunnel it. And this is one of the favorite VPN. Love it so much. My second favorite will be NordVPN. And the reason I'm not going with Proton VPN is because I think Proton VPN do not accept they really do not accept, what do I call, Proton VPN doesn't accept crypto, if I'm not wrong. So public hotspot and firewall, this is another reminder, is that public hotspots may restrict traffic to discourage misuse. So they already know that many people might use the public hotspot to conduct illegal activities. So VPN like Air VPN can adapt to such restriction by using different ports, including port 443 TCP, which is the HTTPS port, though it may be slower. So what this means actually is that most of the hotspots are insecure. So for you to actually bring it up and make sure that there is no man in the middle attack, your connection is encrypted, you can use a VPN such as Air VPN. And caution, it is advised when bypassing these restrictions as such, hotspots may log connection requests and MAC addresses. So this is the problem where we have to deal with. So we are looking at physical network, and now we're in the network. So we can either use Tor or VPNs, or we can either use both. And using both is the best thing that I can say you can do to actually enhance your anonymity. And this means that you're going to use a VPN over the Tor network. Some people say it's not a good idea, but I think it's a good idea because you're adding another extra layer. So this works like this. You connect from your machine or your computer. Your IC internet service provider connects to the VPN, and now your internet service provider only knows the VPN. It doesn't know that you're connected to Tor. Then the VPN, let's say you are in UK, the VPN is in Seychelles, and then you connect to the node, the entry node, and the Tor node encrypts your data. And so I think using a VPN over Tor network is the best option. Some say no, there is no need for that, but the reason why they say that it's because VPN services have been identified to not be trustworthy. So they say rather I use Tor than use a VPN that will sell me out. That's why I told you when looking for VPN, you need to choose VPNs that have these three distinction: no log policy, they use crypto for payment, and also they are outside the Five Eye countries, which is the UK, US, Canada, New Zealand, and Australia. So if you look at those kind of VPN and do your instruction, and I've given you the best VPN that I use and I advise you to use is Air VPN. And in terms of event payment, they are really affordable. Though their servers are not as much as other companies such as Nodes, they have, I think, around 68 to 70 servers worldwide, which is not bad. So that is the reason why I also prefer VPNs. And also there's some VPNs that have, I think, one of the VPN that has that capability of routing you through multiple servers is NordVPN. I have not found that in AirVPN, but in NordVPN, you can actually use a VPN server that will connect you to another server, and then for you to connect into the dark web, making the process more and more difficult to track. But the problem with that is that it's going to be slow. If the internet connection and the connection is going to be slow, this happens like NordVPN connects you from a server. You're in UK, it connects you from a server to Seychelles, and then it reconnects it connects you again to a server in France, and then you are it's called multi. I've forgotten the name, but it's called multi something in terms of that reconnection. And that is what I have to say about public hotspots and firewall. And then you can also change your MAC address. Make sure that you change your MAC address. There's easy tool to change your MAC address in Windows. There's a tool in Windows called Titanium, and it's just beautiful in helping you to change your MAC address to avoid detection when using restricted hotspot. And as I said, while you are hacking, do not use your machine that you're using on your day-to-day activities. That's also something that I forgot to point out. Make sure that the machine that you're using is a machine that is easily throwable. It's a machine that when you feel that you are unsafe, you can just tip it. You can delete everything. You can encrypt the disk. You can destroy the disk. Make sure you have a machine that is easily deleted and doesn't associate anything to you. Not your work email, not your lifestyle, not your social media, your personality. No, that's a machine dedicated for hacking. And then we have VPN providers as a weaker link. That is why I understand where people come and say, it's not good to connect VPNs to Tor, because the VPN providers are usually the weaker link. And this means that the VPN provider knows the user's original IP address and location, potentially compromising anonymity. So if you look at VPN alone, let's say I'm using a VPN alone without Tor, the VPN provider knows my real IP address. That's why in the case of Pure VPN, they were able to catch this hacker, because they went to Pure VPN and they told Pure VPN that this hacker used your servers to hack. So we need to know who this hacker is. And what the Pure VPN guys did is that they handed the logs to the Fed and told them, this is our logs, and this is the IP address of the hacker. So that is the only weak link. They know your original IP address. They know, because you connect to your original IP address, and then now they encrypt and change your IP address to another location. So choosing VPN provider that keeps no logs and are hosted in neutral countries can mitigate this risk. And neutral countries basically means countries that are outside the Five Eyes, because the Five Eyes are usually work together, especially in terms of cybercrime and hacking and all those stuff. So we have also privacy tools and resources are available online to help select secure VPN provider. That's why I told you there is a good resource that I can actually show you guys. It's called privacytools.io. So if we come here to it's a privacytools.io. Yes, so you in privacytools.io you get the best private enhanced software, from private browsers to private best private VPN for privacy. And if we check VPN for privacy, we have NordVPN, Surfshark, Proton VPN, Malware. These are VPN that I've actually, I believe, that are really privacy enhanced. And then we can come to private enhanced software browser. One of my favorite, LibreWolf, amazing browser. We have Brave, another favorite of mine. I used to use Firefox, but these days I'm really into LibreWolf and the Brave. And then we have Tor, DuckDuckGo. So we have privacy password manager, privacy cloud storage. So this is one of the best tools that I use to actually find software that I want to use to a particular. So if we can come for privacy emails, we have StartMail, we have ProtonMail that I love. very amazing. We have Tutanota, amazing email. So those are some of the privacy enhanced email. And I think Tutanota was used by, it was used by Edwin Snowden, if I'm not wrong. If it was not Tutanota, it's a very privacy enhanced. So we have file sharing, file encryption, disk cleaner. So this is one of the best tools that I use to find privacy enhanced software, and also read, go through, look at reviews from external sources, from people. So those are some of the, I think we've, oh, yeah. So we have, yeah, my favorite, and then we have, yeah. So yeah, we talked about the VPN providers, weak links, and then now we have what I call the front gun principle. Now we have physical layer sorted out, network layer sorted out, what we need on the physical layer. You now understand what you need on the physical layer and what not to do. You know now you know what to do on the network layer and what not to do. And now let's talk about the front gun principle. So to recap, we are connected to a public hotspot and issue all our malicious requests, in quotes, through a Tor or a VPN service, or in a better occasion that I like, we can use VPN over Tor. Amazing. You may think that this setup is perfect, but there are major issues we need to deal with. So this here means that we are connected to Tor and VPN, and directly now we should go and attack our target. But there is a major issue. So the problem with this is that the bandwidth is too slow to perform any real attacks. That's one of the issue. And then the other thing is that the IP masking techniques makes it difficult to use some advanced tools and techniques, port scan and reverse shell, to list but a few. Keep with the blank slate principle, we need to reinstall attacking tools and erase data on the computer we use every day and every single time we do another attack. So the solution here is to use virtual private servers, or the VPS. A VPS directly connected to the internet can handle heavy requests using its large bandwidth. The VPS should be paid for with anonymous cryptocurrency to avoid traceability. The same rule that I told you need to VPNs, you need to use it in actually purchasing a VPS. And also there's a lot of things you can use VPS, and then we can set redirectors. It's amazing. So if you want to be, this is also a good lesson for OPSEC. So making sure that you remain as anonymous as you can. So providers that accept accept Bitcoins can be found here. So we have crypto.net, and then these are VPS servers or VPS hosts that accept Bitcoins. And then, as I told you, avoid VPS servers that are in the Five Eyes also. So there is a lot. I will leave a link of this in the description of this video. You can go ahead and check. So this is crypto.net, and so we have that. So now let's look at our setup or our infrastructure, what I like to call it. This is a mere setup of the infrastructure. So we have advanced setups such as the ones that we saw on Vault 7. If you find, if you were able to find that a release that was released by WikiLeaks. So there was advanced infrastructure that the three-letter words use, or advanced persistent threats use APTs. They use advanced way to make sure that they are as much. I'm really happy sharing this information. That's why I'm out of breath, because this is what you guys need to know, that These guys use advanced method to actually carry out attacks. We use they use what is called living off the land, where they use techniques inside your computer to actually hack you, and we'll talk that in upcoming videos. So what we have right now is, this one is you and your computer. You are connected to a McDonald's or a Starbucks public hotspot, not your Wi-Fi, home Wi-Fi, not your home network, not your university network. You're connected to a public hotspot. And then after that, you are connected to a VPN over Tor. And then the VPN over Tor, the exit node, you can use a multi-layered VPN, which actually takes you through one server to another, then to the entry node. And then the Tor network exit node gets you to the VPS, or the virtual private server, where you have your hacking tools. So your hacking tools won't be in your original computer, they will be on the server. So your Kali will be here, your attacks will be from the front gun server. So this is where you launch your attacks, because if we look, the bandwidth is much more smaller. If you say you are going to attack with this, it will take decades, and some uh, companies or some networks do not accept requests from the dark web, so it's going to be difficult. So what we do is we get our front gun server, and then we attack through the front gun server. So this is the setup that we now actually have. So the VPS setup and usage. The VPS can host any operating system such as Linux, Kali, which comes with pre-installed tools. Users can control the VPS through SSH for Linux or RDP for Windows using VPN or Tor. So tools like SQL Map and Nmap can be executed remotely from the VPS. So your computer doesn't have any hacking tools. Your hacking tools are on the VPS, and you can even put or set up redirectors on your VPS to make it even more difficult for you to be traced back. So this is how you put your setup and make sure that you remain anonymous. And if you look, it will cost you money buying a VPN service, also buying a VPS server. The Tor network is obviously free, and maybe buying a new computer each and every time you're going to do this attack. So anonymity and investigation evasion. So if an investigator tracks the attack to the VPS, they will find the VPS IP, which leads to VPN exit node or the dark web exit node. VPN providers in neutral countries that do not log activities further obscure the user's identity. Even if VPN logs were accessed, they will point to a public hotspot IP used by many users, complicating traceability. That's what I mean. You make it as difficult as possible for these guys to actually trace everything back to you. Let's say they've gotten the VPS server, they track it, and then they find it's from a VPN exit node. Okay, the VPN exit node is in a neutral country. They give them the logs. They go and trace back, they find that the real IP address came from a public hotspot IP used by many people. And what you can do over here in the public domain or the public hotspot, you can be alternating. Today you are in the mall, tomorrow you are in Starbucks, tomorrow you are in another place and another place. You're in a coffee shop, you're in a, so you don't stay in one place. And all those places that you go, make sure that there is no surveillance. There is no CCTVs looking at you 24/7 on all those sort of things. So the complexity and cost of the investigation might eventually outweigh the benefits, leading to the case being dropped. System anonymity. So we are talking about system anonymity as our last frontier, where we are looking at the operating system that you should be using while you are on the front gun. So the best you can use on the front gun is Kali Linux, because you are going to have your pre-installed software including Nmap for scanning ports, and SQL map, and you have all your hacking tools in that front gun server, not on the local computer. So this reduces the risk of being associated with the malicious behavior. So that's according to what we are going to look on the system anonymity. So local computer setup, use a temporary operating system booted via live USB key from the local computer. This is where you are using your Tails. An example of that is you're going to use your Tails operating system on your computer, and Tails is going to connect you to Tor and exit node, and then you go from there, you access the VPS server, and then you do your attack. It makes it very, very difficult for you to be traced back. This ensures a fresh start with no incriminating data each time the computer is booted. Instruction for creating a live USB key with any Linux distributions are available online. So you can use a bootable Linux distro like Kali, or also you can use a tool like Tails and all that stuff, so that you can make your local computer setup as much as hard for it to be traced as possible. So recommended Linux distribution for Tor network user prefer Unix or Tails, which routes all traffic through Tor. For general use, Kali Linux is a convenient option, though any Linux distribution with a VPN client will work. So that's the recommendation of using a Linux distribution. Modular and flexible infrastructure. Change identity frequently by using different VPN services, VPS server, and Wi-Fi hotspot. That's what I said before. Ensure that you use different hotspot, use different VPS server while you're starting. Again, you hacked company A. Make sure that the next time you're going to perform your hack, you're going to use another VPS server, not the exact same. So, and change VPN services. If you find the best 3, the best 4, make sure that you change VPN services each and every time. This creates layers of anonymity and complicates tracking efforts by investigators. So our main effort here is to make the investigation to tracking back to us as difficult as possible, till they reach a place where they're like, we're giving up. It's not worth the effort. Payment options, Bitcoin and anonymity. Bitcoin uses unique public and private key pair instead of names and emails. Every transaction on Bitcoin network is publicly visible, including amount, addresses, and timestamp. If a Bitcoin public address is linked to your identity, e.g. through a wallet hack, or all past transaction can be traced. So as I said, Bitcoin is traceable. So what you are actually recommended is to use more privacy enhanced cryptocurrencies like Monero. So best practices for using Bitcoin: generate a new public address. If you're going to use Bitcoin, that's it. Generate a new public address for each transaction to maintain anonymity. Use offline tools or anonymous online wallets to create these addresses. Fund Bitcoin public keys using anonymous methods like gift cards or cash deposit. So make sure that if you're going to fund your Bitcoin wallet, make sure you're not using things that are going to be traced back to you. So you can use gift cards or cash deposits. Avoid using credit cards or wire transfer to purchase bitcoins. That's the number one no. Do not or never use Bitcoin. Never use credit card or wire transfer. Something that is just tied to your name. Do not use it to purchase Bitcoins, because it can be traced back to you. Alternative cryptocurrencies, consider more anonymous cryptocurrencies like Zcash or Dash or Monero. However, these are not widely accepted. That's the problem. But Monero is becoming more and more widely accepted because it's of its privacy. It's being used more and more rather than according it's being used so much compared to other cryptocurrency like Zcash or Dash for anonymity. So the reason why most people will end up using Bitcoin is because these other cryptocurrencies are not that much used in exchange. So if you're going to use Bitcoin, then you have to follow the things that I've told you. Buy it using a gift card or money, and make sure you buy it from anonymous wallets and all that stuff. Stick to the rules of one transaction, one address, and avoid credit cards when buying Bitcoins to maintain anonymity. So I hope you actually enjoyed this video. I know this is just a basic setup for your infrastructure and for you to actually maintain anonymity in your hacking endeavors, but this is just the beginning of it. If we are going to actually create a complete infrastructure, it's going to take more than 55 minutes of this video. It's going to take more than, and it's going also to take resources. You need money to actually create these infrastructures. You need money. You need money to buy VPS. You need money to do this. So it's something that if you're going to actually attack a system or hack maliciously, in quotes, we do not promote any malicious hacking, but if you're going to do that, ensure that you are hacking and your OPSEC is on top notch so that everything that you do cannot be traced back to you. So with that being said, this is the closing note. I hope you had a blast throughout the video. Subscribe, like, comment, and share, and have fun pawning the world. So with that, I will see you on the next video. I'm going to start a next series on OSCENT. So I will be dropping the videos as soon as possible, and I hope to see you there. So we will cover OSCENT from scratch, from the beginning to the end. So I hope this video helps you to identify and understand how to actually make yourself anonymous while you're hacking. And please consider the layers that I've talked about: the physical layer, the network layer, the system layer. You need to actually consider those. That multi-layered approach will help you. If one is compromised, the other helps you. If they find the exit node and they come and the VPN gives them, you are at a public hotspot where no one saw you. You have a computer, you are using a bootable USB. You are not tied back to you. So using those kind of stuff and software actually helps you to stay anonymous. So I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you on the next video.